Hey guys, welcome to TVC Live. This is episode 14. I cannot believe it. Awesome. Katie Lee says there's 6 of us waiting. Hey Katie Lee, how you doing? If you're catching the replay, just put something like hashtag replay. Let me know where you're coming from, who you are, if your name isn't actually your name. So, because sometimes people are like, oh, I watch it every week, and I have no idea because they have a weird YouTube name that they probably made up 10 years ago. But anyway, hey, Jerry's here, Barbara's here, Heidi's here. Super excited. Ari and Jessi are here tonight, and you guys know them as the Trekkers, right? It's not their actual name. And they always have the best comments, and they are seriously just cracking me up in the comments all the time. So I figured, oh my gosh, who better to actually come on the screen with us than them? And I've actually met them a couple times, so it should be really fun little reunion here tonight. But first, before we get into the interview, you guys have said that you really like my little family updates or whatever that I do at the beginning of the show. So I'm just going to go with that because I actually did something really cool over the week. My brother texted me literally a week ago yesterday. That makes no sense. He texted me a week ago and was saying how he was feeling a little bit stressed because he's buying a house and also going on vacation. And I said, oh, where are you going? He said, oh, I'm going to the Smoky Mountains. And I thought, I wonder how far away that is. And so I Googled it, and it was only 10 hours away. And I invited myself on his family vacation with all his in-laws. And I said, hey, is there room for 2 more? Can Chelsea and I come? And he said, of course. So I invited myself on their family vacation. I think there were 14 kids and 8 adults, and it was just such a fun time. I want to show you guys. And if you're part of the newsletter, then you know this was my very first national park, and it was amazing. It was super cold and very foggy the whole week we were there, but yesterday before I left, I went up to the highest peak, I guess. It's called Klingman's Dome, and this was a shot I got just from my cell phone. I couldn't find my actual camera. I think I either lost it or didn't bring it. But check it out. This was so beautiful. It was at the very top, and you could literally just see for miles. It was amazing. And like I said, it was really cold. And so there was a lot of snow when we finally made it up the mountain yesterday, and Chelsea was so excited. She saw this on the side of the road, and I slammed on my brakes and pulled in so she could see the snowman because she just loves snow. She loves snow. I don't know where she got that. I guess she was born in a blizzard, so it makes sense. But look at her with this snowman. She is blushing. She was so excited to see him. So when we finally got to the top, I told her we could make a snowman. And so this is the little snowman we built. Obviously not like the one in the last picture. It was probably, the size of my palm, maybe a little taller. And I'm so glad that I snapped this photo because we went to the bathroom, and when we came out, I told her we could make another snowman. And there was, I don't know, maybe a 12-year-old boy that was stomping it. So it had only lasted for a few minutes. And Chelsea just looked at the little boy, and she was so upset. And I said, well, we can make another one. She said, no, it's over now. And I just thought that was kind of funny, but terrible at the same time. And then this is the picture. So you can see our amazing view from the cabin we were staying at. Of course, Sunday was Easter. And Ed and I, we live in this RV. We don't really do, holidays really big. Obviously, Chelsea only has so much room for toys anyway. And I've always been naturally a minimalist, and my mom actually didn't celebrate these types of holidays. But so this was basically Chelsea's first Easter, first time she woke up to a basket of toys. And so these are all the kids that were there, and Chelsea is on the left side of that picture. She's one of the shortest ones. But look at this view. I mean, the kids are cute, but the view from the cabin was so amazing, and I was sleeping on the couch right there, probably about where this photo was taken. So every morning I got to watch the sunrise over those mountains, and it was absolutely amazing. Yeah, Barb, beautiful. Those darn boys, Heidi says, yeah. Scylla says she loves it there. Barb says best times when you invite yourself. Yeah, totally. So that was my week, and we seriously just got home maybe 3 hours ago. I like to travel really slow, even when it's just me and Chelsea in a car. And so it probably took us, I guess probably about 36 hours to drive 10 hours. Today we stopped. It was a 5-hour and 20-minute drive, and we stopped 5 times. So it took us about 7 hours to get home. I just, I really followed that advice. Never travel too fast. So I got home for the show tonight. Ed and Chelsea went on their daddy-daughter date probably about 30 minutes after I got home. And so I got to relax and kind of unwind from the stress of traveling with a preschooler in time to interview Jessi and Ari of the Trekkers. As this picture shows, oh, awesome, guys. Hey, check it out. I pointed to the picture first try correctly. Everything is opposite, so I usually mess it up. But anyway, this is a picture of Jessi and I, or I'm sorry, Ari and I. Jessi took the photo in Port Huron, Michigan. They drove down from around the Lansing area to meet Ed and myself. I think it was in June or July, and we just had a great day. It was super fun. I was extremely flattered that anyone would drive more than 20 minutes to meet me, so I was so excited to meet them. I was bragging about it to everyone. I was like, oh my gosh, these people, they're going to come drive and see me. And so I was just, I was nervous and honored and super excited to meet them. They turned out to be amazing people, and we've kept in touch ever since. I think before that, Ari and I had been emailing for, I don't know, at least a year, I feel like. And so they're longtime virtual campers. So let's bring them on out. Hey, guys, how you doing?
Hey, Liz.
Hey, Liz. And everybody else.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, virtual campers. How's it going?
It's great. We're like here, but virtual. It's,
It's like a virtual campground.
It is.
Never mind that we're not actually in a campground at the moment.
I'm in more of like a mobile home park, really. There's a lot of there's a lot of RVs here, but there's a lot of permanent residents. So,
we're in our sticks and bricks right now because we haven't sold it yet. That's on the docket for this year.
Right.
So
it's on the bucket list.
It's on the bucket list. So if anybody's interested in a nice house in the Lansing area of Michigan,
furnishings and cat.
It can come with a cat. If the price is right, yeah.
All right, now we know their level of dedication, y'all. Now we know. Awesome. Does size matter? They were on a couple weeks ago. They said, good to see you again. We all met at the RV Entrepreneur Summit. Exploring the Local Life says, that's so cool. You all meet in person. And everybody's just saying, hey. So,
hey.
First, before I get into it, Ari, what does your shirt say?
My shirt says, yes, I do have a retirement plan. I plan on traveling.
Oh, that's cool. Where did you get that shirt?
I think it was a gift.
Did the kids get that for you?
I think my kids got it for me. Yeah, our kids bought it for me for, I don't know, birthday or Christmas or something. So clearly they've been listening to me talk about this for enough that
okay. Yeah,
they know it's a thing.
They knew the market. That's awesome. And you guys always have the best shirts, the best socks. Like these are stylish folks, you guys. These are stylish folks.
I mean, you gotta have a little fun.
Yeah. Barb says, Lansing sounds way too cold. Sorry. So you're not selling it to Barb.
It was 60 today. That's warm, right?
Ish. That's like a new word, right? Ish.
It's warmer than it was.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, that's true. So tell me your RV story. I know obviously you guys have a house, but tell us kind of how you got into RVing in the first place.
Do you want me to go or you can go?
You can start.
All right. So we've camped for a long time. We used tent, and then we had what was it was kind of a flip over or pop up camper. It was a tiny little thing that was essentially a tent on wheels. We got tired of constantly with the tear down and the setup and everything had to be packed. It took forever to set up, and to tear it down in the rain was terrible. So we decided it was time to move up to some sort of either an RV or a trailer or something. I'm not big on wanting to tow a trailer of any kind, so I suggested that we go for a motorhome style. And then we agreed that Class A was going to be too big. I think we were pretty much set on a Class C, and then I started listening to some people and doing some research online about the Class Bs and the vans and seeing the van life. And I thought that could be really cool because of its flexibility that it gives you. And it took a little time, and I had to convince Jessi to actually look at a van and living in that or traveling in that, and eventually we're gonna want to try to live in that. But I think you were sold once you got into it.
Yeah, I'd listened to this podcast for quite a while, and so I understood but the family that we were listening to was really just doing weekend trips. They weren't, full timing at that point.
What podcast
And
was that?
well, it was
Road Trekking. It's RV Lifestyle.
RV
You know, Mike
Lifestyle,
Mike and Jennifer Wendland.
Yes, they're pretty big.
And this was sort of before they were big, early on. I mean, they're from Michigan, so we sort of had that connection with them. But at any rate, I was sick of digging a hole.
Oh, hang on. I think you guys froze. If you can hear me.
Yeah,
you're still here. There you are.
Find us.
Oh, hang on. So I heard you guys are from Michigan. There's a connection there. Because, of course, if you're from Michigan, you only listen to other people from Michigan. So go on from there. I'm sorry. I cut out.
No, that's fine. So basically, I was sort of sick of digging a hole in the woods and sleeping on the ground. So we started looking, and yeah, the Class C is really what I wanted. I thought it would be the perfect size. It had, the bed, shower, all the stuff and all the space. We were at the time looking to go on like a 2 or 3 week trip to Yellowstone with one of our daughters, and that seemed perfect. But we headed to the RV lot one day to test drive that, and we did. But they also had a couple Class Bs on the lot, and so we kind of said, well, at least let's just see. Ari said we better go try.
Oh, hang on. In the comments, if they're freezing in the comments, let me know. If not, I will just be quiet. It froze again. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're coming through just fine.
It's not freezing on our end, but...
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry about that. So you guys were at the dealership, and you saw some Class Bs, so you said you were just going to go check them out.
Yep, so we test drove a Class B, and I think before we even got back to the lot, we knew that was the one that we were going to go home with. So we always say the van found us, because that is not at all what we set out to buy that day, but it's what we ended up coming home with. So it was just perfect. It's 4-wheel drive, and both of us have Jeep Wranglers, so we were actually used to going off into the woods, going 4-wheeling, and even though we can't exactly go 4-wheeling in the van, it at least allows us to go off-road a little bit more, into the woods, down trails.
You guys froze again. 1 sec. All right, there you go. So it allowed you to go down the trails.
Allowed us to go down the trails that, a Class C or a travel trailer wouldn't be able to go. And I think for us, the van life is perfect for our style. We just kind of want to go anywhere, do anything, turn around in the middle of the highway because we saw something cool and we, want to go back, or drive up a dirt road through a cattle field to a, historical monument. And if nothing else, it allows us to park pretty much anywhere. And
yeah.
I think our biggest, we always say our biggest win was pulling into a parking metered spot in downtown Oklahoma City. And you're definitely not going to do that in pretty much anything else.
Yeah, so I love what you said earlier about how you were looking at the Class C and there just happened to be a van there. I think Ari needs a shirt that says "Van Life I didn't choose van life chose me."
Right.
Yeah, that's so funny.
He does have the van down by the river shirt, the Chris Farley shirt.
Yeah. It's so funny how that was satirical just 20 years ago, and now it's, the kids that would stay up late and watch that now, really something about that sketch really stuck to them.
It stuck to all of us, yeah. And everything that Jessi said is all true stories. I've turned around the middle of the road because she saw something she wanted to go back and see. We've driven across cattle grates to go see some monument up on a hill. I mean, there's been all kinds of things that we've done with that van.
That's really awesome. I know when we were at the RV Entrepreneur Summit, the last night they have this big giant campfire, and Ari and Jessi came up to me and they were like, okay, well, we're leaving now, and everyone was like, what? You're leaving right now? Because it was, I don't know, what, like 9 or 10 in the morning or at night, excuse me. And everyone was like, how can you leave right now? And they said, oh, we have a van. We're just going to drive for a few hours and just park wherever. And I thought, wow, that's the life. If you had a big fifth wheel, or even us with our motorhome, we're not leaving in the middle of the night to go anywhere.
Yeah, we do that. Sometimes it's
do that
about
a
just
lot.
getting a few hours ahead of traffic. I think that night we wanted to leave so we'd get across Nashville overnight, and then we wouldn't be dealing with the rush hour traffic in the morning. So it worked out really well.
Right,
Yeah.
that's so funny. Tara's asking, what kind of van did you get?
We have a 2008 Road Trek 190 Popular, and like Jessi said, it's a 4x4. So it's on the Chevy chassis, because they make Chevy and Sprinter chassis, and we did the Chevy chassis was one we found. And I really like it. It's not as tall as the Sprinter or the Mercedes chassis, so it handles wind and the road and the highway a little bit better, I think, but it gives us plenty of room. Neither of us is very tall, so that does help.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I was going to disclose that I'm sitting on a pillow, so I can at least be in the frame tonight.
Okay, let me show you what I'm working with. Hang on, guys. This is a little behind the scenes. I mean, I'm in a dinette. I'm not necessarily on a pillow, but this is on my feet. So my feet, they don't, necessarily dangle, but they don't hit the floor flat. And when I'm working, that causes me, excuse the angle right now, that causes me to go like this. And so if I put my feet up, and usually I have a pillow right here, I sit up much straighter and my back doesn't hurt as much. So I'm with you there, sister.
Well, in the van, everything has to have at least 2 uses, right? Because we have limited space. So we travel with leveling blocks in case we need a level if we're out boondocking somewhere. And we store them in the passenger well under Jessi's feet, because then her feet don't dangle off the seat.
Yes, it's oh my gosh, in the passenger seat right here, my feet dangle. I usually set them up. There's this hidden shelf behind the dash that I set them on because it's just much more comfortable. Denise is saying, haha, so size does matter. Now we know that question. That is so funny.
This is without the pillow.
Yeah. You're still in the shot. You look great. Exploring the Local Life says, yeah, I'm not even 5 feet. Yeah, I think you and Jessica from Exploring the Local Life are probably about the same height, because you guys are just slightly shorter than me. And of course, every doctor tells me I'm a different height, right? Oh, you're 4'11", you're 5 feet, you're 5'1". I'm like, I'm somewhere around there. I don't know. That's so funny. Anyway, I'm going to have to refer to my notes because we just went way off tangent here, and I don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Isn't that your tagline? This is a little off topic.
Yes, Ari, I'll have to give you the royalties if this thing ever makes me any money, because that's a great tagline. Oh,
I think we were talking about van life, but I'm really not sure at this point.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, do you have any, while we're on the subject of van life, do you have any more things that you really just love about van life and you're glad, that you found that van that day?
I mean, I really like the travel flexibility that we have, that we will take off at night sometimes, because we're only part-timing right now. So we might end up doing long weekends or something. Well, it means that we can get the van ready and then maybe take off after work. And sometimes even just getting that few hours under your belt the night before, and then you have a fresh travel day, it just gives you that kind of a head start on the trip. So I really like that. That's a big part for me as the driver. I tend to drive all the time. So I like having that flexibility.
I think for me, the traveling has been important and where we've been able to go. But the last 2 years specifically, we've had quite a few health issues in the family. And so we've been spending a lot of time mooch docking in relatives' driveways. And that's been great because not only can we just, leave right after work, but we're not taking up an extra space in their house. We've been able to sleep in their driveway, have our own bed, have our own bathroom, kitchen, whatever, and not feel like we're a complete burden on the family, but yet still being there for all the important moments and times when we needed to be with family. And not just family, but when we headed down to the RV summit, we spent the first weekend actually visiting some friends, and we just parked right out front of their house in their neighborhood. And because we essentially drive a big van that looks like everybody else's vans on the street, Nobody even questioned the fact that we were parked there for 3 days. And we just slept in the van at night and then hung out with them during the day. So,
Right.
I mean, I know a lot of people do mooch dock, but I think with the van, it's just that much more nondescript, so you blend in a little bit easier.
Yeah. We were staying in, well, we couldn't fit in their driveway. This was somewhere in Florida outside of Orlando, so we had to park on the side of the road. But we were like this, and the neighbor was like, how long are you going to be here? And, we were just there for the night. But yeah, if we would have just had a van, not only on top of that, you telling that story made me think, like, you could just invite yourself to all your relatives' gatherings, right? Like, I invited myself to my brother's thing. Luckily, they rented a giant cabin because he was like, yeah, I think there's gonna be about 20 people there, but you can come, sure. And I was thinking, gosh, I wish I had a van or even a teardrop or something, so I could invite myself to all my friends and family's gatherings.
Well, one of our early trips in the van was your parents had rented a house down in Florida.
Oh, that's
And
right.
so
I
we ended
remember
up going
that.
down to Florida and we parked in their driveway, and then we had our own space and they had their own space, and it just worked out really well.
And just for traveling, I mean, we just use it as another vehicle a lot of times, just to go someplace because it means I have my own bathroom, which is awesome, and the fridge and just extra space. So we've kind of gotten spoiled because we literally do use it as an extra vehicle sometimes.
Yeah, you guys drove it when we met up.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because anytime it's a long trip, we ended up doing a trip to Chicago to see my brother, and we took a car,
Mm-hmm.
and we were about halfway there, and I'm like, "Well, this is ridiculous. Like, I can't get a sandwich. If she
This is
if she has
ridiculous. I can't
if
go to
she
the
has to
bathroom on
use
the highway anymore.
Problem
if,
there.
if she needs to use the bathroom, I have to stop. Like, that's the thing. Like, 'cause I'm one of those people that I stop to use the bathroom when we stop for gas, and that's
Right,
it.
right.
She needs, smaller bladder. So, now, but if we're driving down the road and need to go, I'm just
Yeah.
like, it's right behind you.
Or
That's so
changing
true.
clothes or
It's
whatever.
so true. That's why I love the motorhome, and I convinced Ed to not get the travel trailer because, I mean, I'm sure you guys have all seen this cup, right? I always have I mean, I've met you guys a few times. Like, I always have a cup this size in my hand. I'm constantly drinking water. And the motorhome has enabled me, I don't have to worry about what I'm consuming because the bathroom is right there. I can just get up and go really quickly. Like today,
Right?
I just told you, it took me 7 hours to drive from Georgia to Tampa. And it's because I'm just constantly drinking water, not thinking about it. And yeah, I've got a few more trips lined up with just Chelsea and me this year. And I seriously am thinking about getting some sort of van and even just building it out, just very simply for Chelsea and I, just so, we can have that convenience. Of course, I'm the only driver, so I'd still have to pull over to go to the bathroom, but we can just pull over, make a sandwich, do our business, get back on the road.
Yeah, there's a lot more people now I've noticed getting into the van life that are just getting vans that they're kind of building out in their own way, in a way
Yeah.
that works for them.
Yeah. So we got a couple questions, I think.
Okay.
Barbara wants to know, is your van a traditional 30 amp or 20 amp?
It's 30 amp. So it is a 30 amp, and it's got everything in it that a full-size RV would have. Kitchen, bath. We have a shower. We have an aisle shower, is how you use it in the van. But we have the thing with the van is you have everything that you have in a full-size RV, except it's either smaller, or it's multi-purpose. So
Yeah.
so like our living room is our bedroom. So you either have a couch and a table back there if you want, or you have the bed down. You're doing one thing at a time, basically.
Or you're in the bathroom or you're in the kitchen. You're not in both.
Right.
But with only two of us, it works just fine. We just have
Yeah.
to dance around each other a little bit.
Yeah. Do you guys have any, someone's asking, do you have any, like, special amenities for your van? I know you mentioned 4x4. Is there anything else, like, super cool about your van?
I think the fact that they've packed in everything that you would have in a full-size RV. So we have air conditioning, we have a furnace, we have a generator on board if we need it. We've got an awning, like it's all on there. It's just in
It's
a
just
reduced
little bit
size.
small. Yeah, I can't think of anything specific. I mean, as far as we've added things to it, so we've added like Wi-Fi boosters,
Cell phone
cell phone
booster.
boosters, all of those kind of amenities, because when we're still working and we need to be on the road, we need to be accessible. But then we have bikes, we have an inflatable kayak, we have a grill, we have extra tables, snowshoes, usually not at the same time as the kayak, but it is Michigan, so you never know. Um, so we packed it pretty full of all our adventure gear.
Yeah,
I think
that's
people
more than I have.
Yeah, I think people will be surprised how much we can pack into that thing. Oh, and then one thing that stands out, and it was put on by the previous owner because we bought it used,
Oh,
Okay.
is we have a brush guard up on front, and we've got off-road lights and fog lights and everything on there. So most people notice that right away because they all think that looks pretty cool, and with
It
the
is
four-wheel
pretty
drive,
rad.
and
It makes you guys look
yeah,
wicked cool.
right.
And I think you can see that in the picture that I put up for this episode. It's you guys in your winter gear with your van, looking super stealth and cool.
That was actually when I found that picture because you asked for one. That was the first trip we ever took in that van. We bought it in December of 2015, and in January of 16, we met a group of road truck owners up at Tequamanon Falls in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. So the Upper Peninsula in the wintertime was our first camping experience with the van, which
Lower.
was kind of lower, upper,
upper.
which was kind of crazy. But at the same time, we knew we'd be surrounded by a bunch of people that had vans similar to ours. So what better way to start, right? But so I've always that's kind of a favorite picture of mine because that was our first real trip with it.
And everybody thinks we're crazy for go camping in the winter, but it's fantastic. We have electricity. There's no running water, but it's no different than boondocking anywhere where you carry your own water. And then you get to go see cool things in the wintertime, like the falls frozen.
Yeah, and you can see the Upper Peninsula. You see the waterfalls without a lot of people and with zero mosquitoes. So that's always a win in the Upper Peninsula.
Yeah. I live in a swamp right now, currently in Tampa, Florida, and there are so many bugs that I have literally never seen in my life that just show up on my picnic table while I'm eating or whatever, and I'm like, this is scary. And so, yeah, that does sound amazing, seeing the sights without mosquitoes. So I think we have one more question, and then I want to talk to you guys about seeing the sights. You guys are on this amazing... I just think it's the coolest thing. We'll talk about it in a second before I forget to ask this. Unknown Normal is asking, how often do you use your cell and Wi-Fi boosters?
We don't use the Wi-Fi booster we haven't had it as long, but we don't use it as often because we don't tend to do campgrounds. So we tend to boondock and kind of be out in the woods. So we use the cell phone booster quite a bit. And we've been really happy. We have the WeBoost, and if I can get any kind of a signal at all, I can boost that. And then we run that with our jetpack. And we have a really nice, strong cellular signal. I can't think of too many places we've been where we've had nothing. So it's been very helpful. I used to have a job where I had to be, even if I was out of the office, I was on call essentially 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so even when I was traveling for a long weekend, I had to be available. So I put all the equipment in that I needed to do that, and that included the cell phone booster.
Awesome. Thanks. All right. So you guys are on this... What would you even call it? Like epic? I feel like it's a challenge or just this amazing thing you guys have come up with where you're traveling to all the state parks in Michigan. How many are there?
103.
103. And are you guys trying to do that in 2019?
Yeah, we're doing it this year. That's the plan.
Okay.
So 2019 is the centennial of the state parks in Michigan. They've been open for 100 years. And we decided, we needed why would somebody, if we're getting the YouTube channel, trying to get that going and the website and everything else, why would people want to follow us or see what we're doing? And we thought, well, this is cool. Let's help celebrate the state parks, the centennial, show people what there is to do in Michigan, and find a lot of places that we quite honestly haven't been. So that's what we've been doing. But yeah, it's funny because you'll tell people, yeah, we're going to go see all the state parks in Michigan. And they'll be like, oh, that's cool. How many are there? And you say 103. And they tend to just go, oh.
What? Wait, and in a year? But
yeah.
And in a state where, we're a...
Oh, hang on. You guys froze. Oh, there you are. Okay, you said in a state where...
In a state where most people only think to go camping in the summertime. When we feel like we're in winter 9 months of the year. But as we've shown, you can pretty much camp 4 seasons. And because we like to do that, that's easy. And the van makes it easy too. So we started with Tequamanon Falls in January. We had a really rough February where it was a lot of negative, like below 0 temperatures. And so we kind of didn't actually go out very much.
Yeah, that was a terrible month for everyone, I think.
Oh, it was terrible everywhere.
Yeah.
But we've picked up the pace. And as of last weekend, we have hit 20 of them. So for, if you figure 125 a quarter for the year, we're actually pretty good. And Although we know we're going to run into winter at the end of the year too, so we're going to try to pick up as many as we can June, July, and August to get them done. But it's just been really fun because when we started this project, I could have sworn I had been to most of the state parks in Michigan, and
Right.
come to find out I'd been to like hardly any of them
Like
when I
this
started
much.
looking at the map, like this many. So I've been super excited to see all the ones that I hadn't even been to, let alone hadn't even heard of before we started this.
That's amazing. So yeah, I feel like I've been to Tequamanon Falls, which is the same place you guys went on that first trip, correct?
Yep.
Correct.
Right. And so if you don't know, I'm originally from Michigan. I moved to Florida when I was 15, and I feel like that's where I, became an adult. So that's usually where I say I'm from. But I spent, my childhood in Michigan, freezing my butt off. And so I just thought I saw you guys announce it, around the start of the year, and I just thought it was the absolute coolest thing ever, especially with the centennial. Like, what an amazing idea. And I've been following your adventure. Can you tell us what, like, so far of the 20 parks, what have you loved the most? What have you seen and that just really wowed you?
I know what your answer is.
Well,
I
what's
mean, you
mine?
love Tequamanon. That's your big
Oh,
park.
well,
You
that's
like that
yeah,
park.
but I've been to that one before.
Yeah.
What's yours?
I don't know. That's a really good question. I think it's been interesting to see the diversity in them, which I didn't expect, because we have I mean, Michigan has a really broad range of what they call a state park. We have linear trails that are state parks. We just did one recently that's one of the newer ones on the YouTube channel, which is the baseline for the state. So when the surveyors came out and they looked at the meridian and the baseline to figure out how you calculate everybody's property lines, there's a park near us, actually near where we live, and it's a state park. So it's a historic state park. It's really small.
It's all of like 100 acres, and
Yeah.
most of that is literally just the public access trail to get to the marker. But
I see what you're saying. See, Michiganders we are so prideful. We're going to make a state park to mark how we did something for geographic purposes.
I mean, it's really cool, but so it's like, for instance, you've got everything that was like 108 acres.
Okay.
It's not the smallest park, but it's one of the smallest. And then you've got, I think Porcupine Mountains is the biggest, and I'm not even sure how many acres that is.
I don't know.
Like
It's big enough that it's called the Porcupine Mountain Wilderness area.
I mean,
so
it's, you're pretty much like the upper end of the peninsula, Upper Peninsula. But there's a lot of parks in Southeast Michigan those are the ones that I wasn't aware of. And we hit 9 of them alone in the last 2 weekends.
Wow.
And most of them are just urban. They're not urban. I don't even know how to describe them. Well, they're actually what they call, this is something in.
Oh, hang on, you guys froze again. Are they coming back? Here they are.
back?
Yeah.
So
You were laughing. Why is it only you ever when I talk? How come it doesn't freeze when you
it's
talk?
those headphones.
It
We were
freezes. I
having
think it's
trouble
my
with the
headphones.
headphones before, but go on.
The state parks, there's 2 different kinds of state parks in Michigan. There is
Okay.
a state recreation area, and then there's a state park. But they are the exact same thing. The only difference is that state parks are closed to hunting unless posted open, and the state recreation areas are open to hunting unless posted closed. Doesn't make any sense. The DNR can't tell you why. That's just what happened. So when you look at a map, you'll see, like, in Southeast Michigan, almost all of them are called state recreation areas. But they have campgrounds, they have hiking trails, they have shooting ranges, they have boat launches, they've got, pretty much everything. But they're all really densely packed together, and most of the land.
Oh, hang on. She said most of the land, and let's wait for her to come back. Sorry about these issues, guys. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Most of the land was donated by some of the big magnates from, like, the automobile industry. So, like, the Ford family, Bloomer family,
Wow.
Dodge family. So anybody from the automobile industry, essentially bought all this land to use as summer residences, and then when they died, the families donated it to the state to become public land. So
Wow.
that's been, I think, I always say Tequamanon Falls is my favorite, but honestly, I've been really enjoyed going and learning all the history behind how we got the state parks, why they're named what they are, and what their connection is to Michigan's just history in general.
That's awesome. And now I know you guys went to a state park that was literally inside, which, when you think of like national parks, state parks, you think, that would be, the antithesis, right? Like they're like, why, like what's up with that? Oh, hang on, they're frozen. They'll come back and tell me. All right, so what's up with that?
So she's excited because it froze while I was talking. So it's in the city of Detroit, and it's called the Outdoor Adventure Center, and it is inside. It's inside a big old warehouse that they've redone, a manufacturing facility. And the idea behind it is they basically built, a little forest and trees and a waterfall, and you can go and you can try fishing out, like a little simulator, and there's a kayak simulator, but it's basically for kids who live in the city who maybe have never been to northern Michigan or to the UP, and they can get a feel for what it's like to be in a state park up north. So it's really kind of a neat thing that they did.
Yeah.
But it is kind of funny that it's the Outdoor Adventure Center and it's inside.
That's so sweet, though.
Just a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of kids in that kind of, especially in Detroit, who are never going to have left the city, and so.
Oh, hang on, Jessi. It froze on you again. While they're frozen, I just want to say I do think that's cool, and I think that's probably what Jessi is saying. I was born in Detroit, like in the city, and I had never been to the country or up north until my mom moved us there, and it's a whole different world. So I do think that's really super cool that they do that for some of the kids that might not have the opportunity to have that hands-on learning about nature. Exploring the local life.
In fact, Henry Ford actually worked in that building at one point in time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was the Detroit Shipbuilding Company.
Oh, wow.
Motor Works or something. Anyways, that had something to do with automobiles way back in the day.
Okay, well now I can hear you guys, but you're frozen. So let me try one thing. Let me exit out. Click on y'all's thing. Let me click on it again. Can you guys hear me? Oh, now they're completely frozen. Can you guys hear them at all in the comments?
Hold on, that'll come back.
Oh, now you're there. Woohoo!
There we go.
Yay!
That's really cool about Henry Ford. So before your internet goes completely kaput, I wanted to ask you guys, I know because you're, sometimes you do go on long trips and things. What are some other places that you've been to that you would recommend?
We've been to Glacier. That was one of our big trips last summer. So definitely recommend Glacier. And we did a couple summers ago. That was the summer we bought the RV, which was part of the catalyst for buying that. We did a 2-week trip with our daughter to Yellowstone, but on the way it was Badlands, Mount Rushmore, Crazy Horse, Teddy Roosevelt National Park.
Yeah, we did a loop. So.
Oh, and they froze again. I jinxed it with one more question. I wonder what's going on with their internet.
I know, that's weird. Yeah, you keep coming through just fine. So.
Okay.
And we're
you did the loop.
Normal house RV.
So we did this loop. So we went South Dakota into the Badlands and everything out to Yellowstone, and then we went north and came back through North Dakota and up through the UP of Michigan and back down again. So we tried to see as much as we could during that trip.
Yeah. Oh, Beartooth Pass, I would definitely recommend. Can everybody do that? That's not like,
You should be able to, yeah.
So the Beartooth Pass basically connects the northeastern part of Yellowstone up through Montana. And it takes you up through the mountains. It's a really windy road, pretty high elevation, but that was really cool. It's only open a short amount of time though, because it's so snowy there that I think it opens in late June and closes in August, basically.
Wow.
It's a very short season, but if you ever get up that way, that's definitely something we recommend.
What's it called again?
Beartooth Pass.
And that's in Yellowstone?
It's at the northeast exit. Okay. Yeah, right? Northeast exit.
Yeah, it's the northeast exit out of Yellowstone.
Takes you up into Montana.
Yeah, you're basically going up and over the mountains. That's why it goes through the pass.
Wow, that's awesome. Somebody was asking, so that's when you took your daughter for that
Correct.
loop?
Yeah.
And how old was she at the time?
She would have been 18.
18.
It was the year she graduated high school.
Graduation trip.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
There were 3 of us in the van for 2 weeks, so it can be done. And it's funny because we got all done, and I asked my daughter about that, and I said, so, how was that? Was that a good idea to take that trip? And she said, yeah, that was good to do once.
Period.
Period.
It was an experience.
Right. So it was a little tricky of the three of us, but we made it work.
Yeah, wow. Sometimes I have guests.
We didn't get the C.
Yeah.
She was
What'd
like,
you
wait,
say?
what? She was with us the day that we went and test drove everything, and that we
Yeah.
were supposed to come by the C. And then when we decided to get the van, I think she was like, "Who are you? What just happened? What are we doing?"
That's so funny. Yeah, sometimes I have people over, like, not traveling, just for dinner and things. Unknown Normal, I think they're watching. They came over for dinner, and we're all at the table like this, and they had brought some food, and we had put it on. I always talk about this infamous box that I have. So let me just turn it. As you can see, I just got home from a trip. Ed was here all weekend. It's a disaster in here. But yeah, we had like a bar right here. You make it work, right? You make it work.
Right. Well, we always say we live out of our van, not in it. So anything we can do outside is pretty much the way to go.
Yeah, at the RV Entrepreneur Summit, it was so funny. Heath Paget, he was like, "Wow, Liz, you're so tan." And I was like, I'm outside all the time. What are you talking about? Of course I'm tan. Right. And it just, it just makes me laugh because even my brother, when I went to see him this week, he was like, "Wow, you're so tan." And I was like, I live in a box. Like, I'm outside a lot.
But you are in Florida, so you are getting the sun a little bit more than us Northerners.
Yeah. That's true. But I just love being outside.
Well, we consider the RV, we always call it the adventure mobile, right? Because we're out to do adventures. We're either going to go out mountain biking, or we're hiking, or we're going out to do something. We're not going to spend time in the RV. We're going to go out. We're using it to get to places that we can then go see. So that means you get out and see it.
Right. Now I'm sad. Barbara says, "I'm in Seattle. It has rained, and I miss outside." They have been in the Pacific Northwest for months and months and months for work. And yeah, every time I talk to her, she's like, Barb, we're sending you love. It could be snow. That's so funny. All right, well, they're frozen again. And they're back.
And we're back.
Yeah. See, we don't know when we're frozen because it doesn't look
I know, that's
different.
why I picked up on that, so that's why I'm like, okay, well, you're frozen now. But anyway, it is 8:45, so because of the internet and everything, I do want to ask you guys, before you freeze again, where can we find you? You've mentioned your blog, your YouTube channel. Tell us about that.
So we have a website, and it's trekkers.org, and it's TREKERS, so 1K on trekkers.org. And then our YouTube channel is just Trekkers, so it's youtube.com/trekkers. And then we're also on Instagram, and we have a Facebook page, and Instagram is trekkers.org. So that's where you can find us.
Subscribe, like.
So what is so? I know you guys have a super cool tagline. Tell us what kind of adventures you share on your blog. Oh, and they're frozen, so I'll just tell you. No.
There we go. Are we back?
You're back.
You're back. Okay, so the tagline is "Hike, Camp, Boldly Go," and you can talk about it. That's what we tried to do.
Well, so if you hadn't guessed by now, the Trekkers thing is sort of a play off the hiking and the camping, but also we're like Star Trek fans, so the whole Trekkie movement. But essentially, the Boldly Go for us was about the whole concept of meeting people, being out there, having community, being adventurous, trying new things. So we, what you can find on our channels are anything related to camping that we're doing, treks, whether that's hiking or kayaking, biking, just doing something new, and then exploring new places. I mean, essentially, we sort of laugh about that, but that's what Star Trek was all about, was exploring the unknown, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. So
I love that.
Hopefully that.
Oh, they froze again. Hopefully that. Yeah, what I like about Jessi and Ari's website. Oh, they're back, but I'll tell you anyway. What I like about their website is that, it's fun, but it's informative. Like, I can tell you guys put a ton of effort into your videos. I always make the joke that I have no idea why anyone will watch this show and spend an hour listening to me talk and, like, basically tell really corny jokes to 10 people every week. But I love that you guys, you make an effort to really inform and entertain. I watch your videos. You're probably the only YouTube people I actually watch, and I just love you guys.
It's everybody.
Well, that's awesome.
What'd
Thank
you
you.
say?
No,
Yeah.
I just said, oh, you say that to everybody.
I don't. I'm like, oh yeah, it's great.
Well,
Yeah.
we kind of joke because I said if you're gonna watch our channel, you're definitely gonna get history because we're huge history buffs. So we're not super huge on just like the daily vlogging about, hey, we're making coffee or I'm tying my shoes. Like, you're gonna get a history lesson. So
That's
hopefully, if
what
you
I
like that
love.
kind of
Yes, you
thing.
just pinpointed it, Jessi. I'm a huge history buff. That is so funny because the other night when I was with my family, we were talking about history and I was just saying how much I love it and everything. And then seriously, the next morning, somebody tagged me and Camping World had finally released this video we recorded with them about 9 months ago, right after I met you guys. And in it, I mentioned that I'm a huge history buff like 3 times. And I'm going to play that after I hang up with you guys.
Oh, good.
But we're in Washington, D.C. And I'm like, you can see me like starting to cry because I'm like, oh, Abe Lincoln. I love history. And that must be what I love about your channel is you guys are always, really just informing people and giving the history of where you are and things like that. And I love that. So thank you guys for providing awesome material.
Yeah, we want to try to provide information, but have some fun along the way. It's kind of our personalities is to have fun with what you're doing, and so we hope that comes through in the videos.
And we think we're funny, so hopefully other people do too. Find us somewhat entertaining.
I was going to say, well, I think I'm funny, so screw the rest of them.
Right.
Right.
There's at least 2 of us, so we have an audience built in no matter what.
Right. There's always one other person watching.
Right.
Right.
All right, awesome. So what's coming up next for you guys? I know you guys said you want to visit a lot more parks, right?
Well, we want to do the state parks. That's what we're doing for 2019. And then the plan is we'd like to see what we can do to kind of downsize throughout this year and then wrap up the Centennial Parks project and then see what we can do to hit the road, start working remotely and start to see all the other great states and places that we haven't seen yet.
Boldly go.
Boldly go. Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. Next week, I'll see you in the comments, right?
Yeah, we will be there. You asked us if we were available for tonight, and I looked at the calendar, and the only thing on our calendars was watch TVC Live. So there you go.
It's pretty much every
guys.
Tuesday night.
These guys will be back. They're really good at making me feel good about myself, so I'll ask them back.
It's a sure way to get invited back, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, thanks for having us listen. And to everybody out there, thanks for those of you who we've met on the road. It's great to see you. Hopefully we'll see you again. And to everybody else, we're looking forward to seeing you out there. And if anybody's coming through Michigan this year, please let us know because we'll be here and we'd love to show you around and have you join us on our tours.
Yeah, or give you some ideas of where you can go and take advantage of it. We're here.
They're the best. All right, you guys. See you later.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye. Aren't they awesome? I just love them so much. And like I said, when I met them, I had no idea what to expect. I had been, talking with Ari a little bit on and off for about a year, through email. But you never know. And when I met them, I just knew these were my people. And I was so excited to see them again back in... Oh, you guys are not hung up so I can hear myself echoing. I'm just going to hang up on them. All right. Anyway, I just knew that they were my people and I was so glad to see them in March as well. Unknown Normal says they're about to spend 2 months in Michigan. Yes, you guys need to meet up. That would be amazing. Anyway, I did mention the Camping World thing. I do want to show that to you guys. Let me exit out. Can you see the YouTube screen? I think that you can. This was a video. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I recorded this last July. And I just want to show it to you guys because I think they did a great job and it's amazing to see myself in high definition. So here we go. Sorry, I've got to move some stuff out of the way so I can play it.
I've always valued travel and experiences over things. I wanted to pass that to my daughter.
I'm Ed. This is Chelsea.
Oh, sorry guys. Gotta love this.
Chelsea.
And I'm Liz.
And we are the Wilcoxes. I spent 12 years in the Army. I was an air traffic controller. And while traveling around, I had friends who RV'd and who lived in RVs, and it kind of gave us that little bit of a push because we had other friends who were doing it as well.
Okay. High five!
We have Chelsea. She's our only child. When she was born, Ed deployed to Afghanistan, and I decided that I really wanted to travel with her. And then when he got home, we moved into the RV, and we realized, hey, we can move this RV, we can start traveling. We love staying in campgrounds where there are things to do because it saves us money and time where we don't have to travel outside of the RV park. We can just stay right here. And we love urban camping because we are in campgrounds and RV parks. If we're feeling bored, we can literally just get on our bike, walk around, meet people.
So one of our favorite things to do is to get on the bike and ride with Chelsea because she loves to be on the road and to have the wind in her hair, and she likes to just hang onto the bike and get all into it. Again. We have a very rare opportunity with our daughter because she's so young and because we're all so young that we can show her the things that we didn't get to see. Washington, D.C. has been one of our favorite cities to visit, and now that we're in the RV, we actually have the opportunity to go back and visit more often.
So we really love history. It was one of my favorite subjects in school. And when you walk the National Mall and you see the monuments and you walk downtown and you see the White House, I just let, the history of it consume me, I guess. She's so big and she's able to understand so much more. It's so awesome. I thought about Abraham Lincoln and what he must have gone through and all the people of the time had gone through, and it was just really moving. I just always get so overwhelmed when I come here. I hope to keep bringing her back here every year and seeing her grow as a person and understand more about our country. When my brother found out we were coming to DC for the All-Star game and weekend, he was so jealous to be around all these people that are hyped up and excited. It's contagious.
We get to enjoy a lot of things that we would have in our normal life, but we just get to see different places. We've had the opportunity to go see many things in many places. We just like to be able to have the opportunity to do so many things and to see so many things and to share it all with our child.
And I just feel so blessed to, have come across RVing so that we can literally just live in this home on wheels and travel to the things that I always wanted to see, that I know my mom always wanted me to see but never got the opportunity. To me, that's what being a parent is all about, giving your child the things you never had. RVing has something for everyone.
People who camp live longer, and I want to live longer.
Oh my gosh, you guys, could I have messed... Oh, of course I could have messed it up more. It's still playing. Alright, guys. Where's my name? Is that my name? There's my name. Anyway, thank you guys for watching that. I hope you had as much fun as me. Checking it all out. Yeah, like I said, that was recorded, like 9 months ago, and I've just been waiting to see what it looked like. Somebody tagged me in it, 3 days ago, and I just thought it was wicked cool. But yeah, next week we've got Exploring the Local Life. Jessica in the comments, she said, hey, that's us. Yep, that's you, baby. She's going to come on next week and talk about unschooling. It's kind of an RV buzzword. We're going to talk about what it is, how she applies it. Even if you don't have kids, I just think it's just a really cool topic, and Jessica has a way of explaining it that's really awesome. So I hope you guys come check us out next week. And yeah, so that Camping World video, also, you guys know me, I love it when people share stuff like that. So that's available on YouTube and on the Camping World Facebook page. So if you see it, if you're friends with me on Facebook, go ahead and share it. That would absolutely make my day. And also make me look good for potential sponsors. Hashtag shameless. You guys like that? All the cool kids. Hashtag. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. It means a lot to me. Go ahead and check Ari and Jessi out. And I will see you guys next week with Jessica from Exploring the Local Life.